What's up, everybody? I'm Joe Longo. This is 30 Days of Inspiration, and I am with Daniel and Rachel Cordua.
Cordua.
And we're in their new, lovely home. They just moved here above the shop and studio. I'm so excited to be here. I helped them move in, and it didn't look anything like this, and now it's amazing. Rachel doesn't mess around.
She's
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I wanted to talk to these guys, share these guys with you, to share their story of really how all of this happened, but also to talk about their spiritual practice and how being a couple and having a spiritual practice has, one, evolved, like how it came to be and how you keep it going. Because I know in my past, with some relationships that I've had, it's been hard to keep that piece going. And I found, like, in some relationships it'll start strong, you know, and then it just kind of fades away. So I'm really interested on how you guys really started doing it. Like, did it just happen from the get-go? Or was it something that you kind of rolled into and then now you just made it part of your practice? Tell us, how did this happen?
I think I came upon a teacher who really affected me before meeting Rachel, right before meeting Rachel, and started this path.
Shortly before.
Almost
around the time.
Yeah. So when Rachel met me, I was like sort of in this path, but kind of still like flirting, and then some sort of situations occurred where my journey went deeper, and then situations occurred for the both of us when we were together, where our journeys started to go deeper and move on this, on the same path, right? I mean, to put it simply.
Yeah.
And being with our teacher and teachers, and going to India.
India was huge.
For both of us.
And that was the first trip
was,
to India.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, not your first trip, but the first when you went and when you met up.
Yeah,
that time.
But the second time
really
was
the second time, and the first time was what started Palo Santo.
Mm-hmm.
And
first time started Palo Santo.
And our journey together with our business and our community. But the second time was when we were, I think our spiritual life really kind of blossomed.
Mm-hmm.
Really blossomed. It was already there, but it changed.
Yeah.
We took it to a different level.
I think it became more serious, and it became something that we realized, wait, there is a path that we can lead in our day-to-day life and hold by that path. I think before, I was interested in things, and Rachel was interested in things in our own ways, and we kind of like this and like that and practice certain things. But I think when we were in India last time, we realized, wow, like we can really live this. And the wonderful part about this sort of seriousness, when I say seriousness, more like a commitment, is that it then filters into everything you do. Like, it filters in not only to like our living place, like you just took photos of this place, and we have our books, and Rachel's an amazing designer, it looks really pretty, but we also have devotional items, we have an altar, and this space becomes sacred. So our house becomes a sacred space, our relationship becomes a sacred space, our studio, the apothecary and boutique that Rachel runs, becomes a sacred space. And the people around us, they feel that in a different way when we're committed. I think it comes across, and it's influential.
It is. It's been beautiful watching, because I feel like I've had the pleasure of watching you guys go from. I remember when Daniel was like, I got
Joe's
I got
known
a
me for
girlfriend.
Joe's seen a lot.
And it was so it was beautiful, and then beautiful to watch you guys grow and do everything that's happening downstairs and watch that grow. But as everything grew, you can tell that your spiritual practice also grew together, which is absolutely beautiful watching as well. And very inspiring to see that it's possible to do it.
I mean, I think it's powerful for our relationship because we're unearthing a lot of our junk. I mean, to put it blatantly, spiritual life or spiritual practices may seem like, according to popular culture or Instagram culture, like, oh, be the love, everything's great, yada, rainbows. And it is that, but with that comes a lot of the darkness that we have to sort of unearth and move through. So for a couple to go through those processes, on one hand it sounds like, well, that's a lot, but on the other hand it's wonderful, because we learn so much about each other, and our lives are about growth.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think?
And we did have to, we made a decision too when we were with our teacher, and we were talking about maybe taking our spiritual life to find a guru. And we kind of, knew who that person was going to be. But we talked about how we wanted to do it and kind of needed to do it together. That it would be too difficult if one person kind of, started this journey, especially diving in that deep on their own versus us doing it together. So when we made that decision and we made that commitment, we did it together. And it was, that was in January, really. Maybe a little bit before January, but
December.
Yeah. So it's been a really nice, time since then, and a lot of change within. Lots of crying.
A lot of change within our habits. That we were changing our lifestyle before, but we really solidified certain lifestyle changes, which have been both wonderful and very challenging. And I think when we made the decision, when we made that decision together, something changed. It's like when you say to someone, "Would you like to marry me?" Something in the universe was even though we're working to have this guru to be accepted as disciples per se, and there's all these nuances, but just that one commitment from our hearts really shifted a lot of energy, and I think we could feel that.
Definitely.
So I was gonna say it looks as if it was another marriage almost. You made that that commitment again together, almost to walk the spiritual path. I don't know if this is allowed. Are you allowed to say who your teachers are?
Yeah.
Because you keep saying teachers.
Sure.
You want to give them, a little plug, let the world know who.
I'm used
who is
to being a yoga teacher where I say everything very general. I say instead of God, I say the universe or the divine. So this. Our first teacher who brought us to the path was Raghunath Kapo, who's a world famous yoga teacher and probably one of the most inspiring people I've ever met.
100%.
And one of our good friends now, and we serve him in his farm, Super Soul in upstate New York. And then his teacher, who is a renunciate, a monk, whose name is Radhanath Swami, who's also, he's got books out, Amazon bestsellers. He's a wonderful soul, and you can read about his life story in A Journey Home, which I recommend to everybody to read no matter where you're at, just in your life. It's a great book. So, And he, now, like marriage, and almost like courtship, we now follow him around. First I would try to follow Raghunath and just be around him. Because I knew when I was around Raghunath, and Rachel and I, when we were around Raghunath, we were our better selves. We felt inspired, we felt connected, we felt some of the lower parts of ourselves started to fade away. And now we're doing that, and even more so with Radhanath Swami, trying to be in his presence and follow him around, and hopefully he talks to us. And remembers our name, because he sees so many thousands and thousands of millions of people all the time.
Which he does.
Yeah, which he does, yes. But it's that whole process is very interesting too. I think the guru idea in the West has been really, unfortunately, has been critiqued a lot for good reason, because there's been a lot of fallen gurus and a lot of bad situations. But there's still a lot of light, and a lot of what we have in the West comes through a guru-disciple relationship. A lot of the practices we have. Kundalini practice comes, and there's a lot, of course, there's negativities always in life, but, we try to focus on the positive qualities, and to view even those who fall with compassion.
That's why it's so important to take time to find the right person, if that is your path.
Right.
To be very serious about it, and not take it too cavalier or too lightly. And they say that, and in fact, this like courtship process to this second marriage is like a 3-year process at least.
Yeah.
So that you really know that this is right, that you can follow some of the guidelines, that you can keep these practices in your life and go through the ups and downs and see where you're at on the other side.
One thing that's wonderful about, you know, spending time with Raghunath and then spending time in this life together is that we hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
So, you know, for lots of things, but especially with the things that we, you know, are kind of devoted to, and the vows that we took, you know, like taking vows in your marriage, you take spiritual vows as well. And then you have somebody to partner up with that holds you accountable for those vows, and it's really nice. And I honestly couldn't imagine, I could imagine doing it alone, but it's really wonderful to do it with a partner. And then also with a sangha, with a community. So you have your friends that are on a similar path, not necessarily like under the same guru or the same guidance, but you know, you start to create that beautiful community, and I feel like that's happened naturally downstairs.
Community is very big, you know.
Community is very big.
Because,
it's very, well, it's helpful. It's like how you can be accountable for each other. Like when I was hiking the other day, my friend was like, you need a buddy to do this with. Like not necessarily to go hiking or running with every day, but someone that knows that you're doing it to keep you accountable. To say, did you go for your run this morning? Did you go for your hike? You know, did you do those things? Because if you don't have it, it's so easy to just like, I'm going to take today off. You know? But if there's somebody there saying, and not necessarily pushing, but just like, hey, did you do your practice today? It helps to keep you doing your practice.
And in like our sort of lineage, or like the style of spirituality we kind of practice, which is bhakti, there's a lot of emphasis on like others being so important, like being with people who you can talk about your path with, and you're on a similar path, and then being around others who are inspiration. You can really say, like a guru or a teacher, we can really say, like, I see you live life in a way I want to live. Like, you know, you are better in a way. Like, I aspire to be like you. And then when you take that shelter, then you can provide that maybe for others. Like, others see that in you. And then it's this beautiful cycle, because we see people in our community and, you know, they're growing their path, and now they are holding space for others. And it's just, that's, like, from my point of view, how, like, the world has changed. I mean, that's, like, spreading consciousness in the sweetest way. You know, having people that you can look up to, having people on your same path, and then having others that start to see you and your life as an inspiration.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what you said is like so true, and it's inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, you can be whoever you are, really. I mean, the whole point of spiritual practice is being who you really are. You know, and that doesn't mean that we all of a sudden shave our heads and put on turbans or do all that. You know, it's meant for everybody and anybody. It's, you know, we see that like equality is through the fact that we're all spirit souls. So it doesn't matter what your outward. You know, in fact, that doesn't mean anything.
Our
you know?
teacher always says there's no spiritual outfit that makes you more spiritual.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And the only reason, you know, people will ask, well, why do you wear the beads, or is it just like to be cool? But, you know, all of it is reminders.
Right.
It's a reminder, a daily reminder, and there's practices around it. You know, I used to wear heavy metal t-shirts a lot, and I still do sometimes, but, you know, honestly, it reminds me of something different. And that's fine, but I'm trying to be reminded of a certain thing every day, a certain light, a certain love. And, you know, like you said, it's so easy to forget or get caught up, or, you know what I mean? You get caught up in stuff in the world, and you just forget. And we just try to put things in our life that remind us. People, places, things, you know,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, thank you both for doing this. We're almost done. And this is fun because there's two of you. So I've been asking everyone to give, everyone that I've talked to give everyone out there a little nugget of advice.
You want to say?
I think something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and in general, kind of, you know, for the last few years especially, is that no matter if we live, here in the loud city, or we live in the beautiful, serene nature, I think it's important for people, for us especially, to cultivate a relationship with nature and to live as closely in nature's rhythms, whether that's like, figuring out where the moon is and what phase it's in every night, and kind of starting to link up your rhythms and your practices to something simple as that, and then you can really kind of like develop a much deeper practice. And I don't know, I don't really know how to say it, but that's my practice.
Stay connected with nature.
Yes.
And I'll just piggyback, because I would want to say so many millions of things, because it's sort of what I do for a living, for good or for bad, give people advice.
Daniel's a much better public speaker
No,
than I am.
no, we're both good in our own ways. So you always inspire me.
See that love right there?
I would say, like, whatever you decide, that today's the day. You know, you're ready for anything right now, and if it's going into nature, which I think is a great thing to do, if it's meditating for a little bit, start today and do it regularly. Do it regularly.
Yeah.
Make sure that you give yourself that time, because the world is going to pull at you so hard and distract you so much.
We talked about this all day
So
today.
much. And that's what that's what we're here to say. I give myself this time of healing every day.
Yeah.
And that one seed every day will change the course of your life, because I don't even want to go into how it will, where it will, when it will, but just that little time every day.
Create those special rituals for yourself.
Awesome. Thank you both so much.
Thank
for
you,
doing
brother.
this.
Love you
I
so
love
much.
you guys. I will link them up. Palo Santo Wellness, Palo Santo everything, all right downstairs now.
All right downstairs.
All right downstairs. But I will definitely link them up. Check them out. They have so many good things to offer.
Yeah, come by, and if you're a yogi or a teacher, come by, do a workshop here, or collaborate with us, or
If
come
you're
to our
into
shop.
plant medicine or herbalism, come see me.
We do all types of cool stuff.
Right here on Patsy Uncast.
Namaste.